That was Savage Garden with "I Want You" from their album Savage Garden, which came out uh, early 2000s, I want to say, or late 90s. One of those. I don't have my notes on the songs with me at at this point. I usually write down a little bit of notes on the songs and stuff. I kind of miffed that. I wrote out this show right before I started recording, so I do apologize for that. But that's a great fucking song. Makes me want a cherry coke, quite honestly. Excuse me. I've been playing a game off and on for a couple years with one of my homeboys. He's also a comedian, Nate Sinclair. He's a very funny guy. He's out of Austin, Texas, I believe. Funny as hell. I met him back in Arizona. Well, shit, when we both kind of came up together in like the open mic scene and stuff. I think I started before he did, but yeah. Funny cat, good friend of mine. He's out of Austin, Texas, and he's also a big pro wrestling fan like I am. We barely ever talk about comedy, but we talk a lot about wrestling. We play the pro wrestler name game. For those of y'all who don't know, or never heard of the pro wrestling name game, basically you name a pro wrestler, and then depending on the rules, this is how I play it. You name a pro wrestler, and then with the last letter of that wrestler's last name, you name another pro wrestler. So if I said The Rock, the next one would be K. Next one you say Kane, then it's like E. You say Eddie Guerrero, then it's like O. Then you say Oscar from Men on a Mission, and then it's like R. And it's Randy Orton. Now here's the key: if you name a wrestler who has like an alliterative name, you have to name another wrestler with the same two letters of the last name of that person. So say I say Austin Aries. You have the last letter is S. You got to say like Stunning Steve, and then E is like some shit like that, and you keep going until someone fucks up. Now, if someone fucks up, that other person gets the point. It's a fun fucking game. Like, I hope you guys followed that explanation of it. I play that shit all the time. I think I might start a rousing round of that shit a little bit later on, depending on how my day goes. I might take a nap after my workout or something, because my brother be asleep. I don't get too many fucking off days, because I'm about to be busy as shit in like the next week or so. So I've made some decisions in my life, and things are gonna go very fucking well. But it's some things that I've wanted to do, and now I just made the decision to do them, which is kind of what I want to talk about right now. Before we get to the smart, stupid people, because trust me, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the importance of being decisive right now. I got three key things why it's important to be, but I just fill everybody in on me on being decisive. I'm a very decisive person. Once I say I'm going to do something, I do it, or it's been done already. This is why it's hard to buy me gifts or anything like that. For some people, unless you really observe me and you really go out of your way to find something for me that you think I would like, because if I see something that I want, 10 times out of 10 I'm gonna get it for myself, probably at that fucking moment. I don't celebrate Christmas or anything like that. I'm not true. All these fake ass holidays where you give gifts to people, I'm not into that shit. It's very rare that I'm in a relationship with someone around Valentine's Day. This year I might get something, so I'm cool with that. So there's that. My mom was also sending me candy. I need to remind myself to send my mom my address. How bad does that sound? Yeah, so being decisive, it's three very important things. You can write this down, or you can listen to my melodious voice tell you this over and over again if you'd like to just rewind it. One thing is good about being decisive is that it gives you a godlike power. You basically created a path for yourself. You created something from nothing. One day you might wake up and you work out a lot, and people will come to you for workout tips. You're like, hey, you know what? Why don't I become a personal trainer? It's a great fucking idea for those who, you work out a lot, you practice good nutrition or whatnot, and you're a good teacher, it's basically creating your own business from that. I'm just using the personal trainer thing as an example because that was something that I had looked into because someone had brought that shit up to me. So, yeah, yeah, hey, you basically created something. Now, someone asked me how did I get into book writing. I've always wanted to be a writer. I think I've said this on the show several times. I've always wanted to be a writer. There was nothing else that I wanted to do more than that besides maybe stand-up comedy, which I also did that as well. It took a little longer for me to get into stand-up comedy. I started stand-up comedy about 10 and a half years ago. I started when I was 21. So it'll be almost 11 years. It'll be 11 years in June when I started stand-up comedy. And I wanted to do it since I was 9 years old. So it took me 12 years to figure out how to fucking get onto it. And which to some people doesn't sound bad until you consider the fact that I grew up in Chicago. So it's extremely easy to get into stand-up comedy. And I've known people who started at 14, 15. I just didn't have, the proper, channels to go through to figure out how to do it. Also, and not to say anything against, my parents. I don't have the most encouraging fucking parents when it comes to my goals, when I think about it. My dad more so than my mom, of course. But and I say of course because of course my dad encouraged me on every fucking thing. Everything I do. My dad is my biggest fucking cheerleader for. My mom, not so much, and love my mom to death, but, it's like a lot of shit that it's just like, I don't know, she doesn't agree with or doesn't understand. It took me forever to even let my mom know I did comedy. And I don't mean like forever. I mean like, I think she just found out like a couple months ago. So there's that. So yeah, not that I'm just like embarrassed to tell her anything like that. I just, I don't want to hear that shit. Uh, so yeah, so you make the decision to do something, more times than not, the decision, one of my favorite quotes, I'm sorry for jumping around, but one of my favorite quotes comes from, a fucking wrestler, Edge. He said in his, Hall of Fame speech, he's like, you figure out what you want to do and do it. It's that fucking simple. And it gives you a godlike power when you do that. It also gives you definitive thinking. You already know the end goal. I'm a writer, so when I write stories or when I write my books or something, I start from the end. Where do I want to go? And then I'm going to figure out how to get there in between. Basically, when you make a decision to do something, you've thought at the end. The end result is you want X. So I need to find out A through W, sorry, because X comes after W. You want to get to X, so you got to do A through W to get there. So once you figure out, okay, this is what I want. Now, what are all the pieces that I need to get in order to get to that point? A lot of people don't think that way, and this is why a lot of people fail because they fail to plan things. Now, if you were to come to my home right now and you would look at my bedroom, you'd see that it was pretty much in disarray. I'm a cluttered person. I actually thrive in chaos, which a lot of people don't understand. A girl I'm dating doesn't fucking understand that shit at all, but I thrive in chaos. My room may look like a tornado hit it, but trust me, I can find everything. It's when it's clean, I can't find a goddamn thing. But for the most part, I'm getting better at it and shit. I got some fucking shelves which I need to organize again, and dust my figurines. But yeah, once you get to that point, you find out everything that you need to do in between. So back to my book writing. When I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a self-help book. So what do I need to do? I need to start reading other self-help books and see how they're written. What kind of style would be best for me. And it turns out that my style of writing works fucking awesome because people love my honest, brutal, conversational tone. It's great. You do that, you get to, you start at the end and reverse engineer that shit. Plan, write shit down. Write down everything you need to do. Every little minor fucking detail. Trust me, it's a major fucking point to do it. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to be a personal trainer one day. And then you just stop. You just start working out and trying to solicit money from people. But you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You know, you just put the label personal trainer on there. Fuck that. No, you gotta fucking you gotta get educated on that shit. You gotta find out what it is about the body, different kind of body types. You know, figure all that shit out, get yourself educated on those things. Then you can go out and be like, hey, this is all the knowledge that I've come across. This is all the training that I've gone through. I'm ready to fucking go. You know? Also, when you're being decisive, you create goals as opposed to just having an idea. Does anybody know what the difference between an idea and a goal is? An idea is just something that you just think about. You know, it'd be nice, you know, if I didn't go to work on Monday. However, the goal is working hard enough so you don't have to fucking work. Think about that. That shit makes a lot of fucking sense if you got a lot of fucking smarts in your fucking brain, you know? Whereas some people just want everything but don't want to do anything. The people who do everything will gain anything. So think about that for just a second. That's about being decisive right there. So I'm going to decide to take a song break right now because I need to fucking sneeze and I need to get my tea out of the microwave. So you guys hang on tight. We're going to take a quick song break and we're going to come back with some more Aaron explaining the universe. Hang on tight.